We are going to have a ball. That's what I say. We don't do anything other than happy on this program. You know this,
right.
Steve.
I do indeed.
Steve, you've brought your brother with you. This is your twin.
This is my twin.
But
yes.
you had the haircut or whatever happened.
Yeah.
This is Jeff Hergenrather. Hergenrather.
Yes.
Good morning. What's the origin? Good morning, Jeff. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
You're German, yes?
Well,
American? German ancestry?
Hybrid, you know.
Yeah.
There's a town by the name of Hergenrather in Belgium. Just across the border from Aachen, Germany.
Yes.
So I suppose the family came from there, or
yeah.
some part of the family.
And which part of America did you settle in?
Well, I settled in California. My folks actually went to California, and I've stayed there over the years after going off to education and schooling for many years, but brought our family home to California.
And obviously you met this man in California.
Yeah, what a deal. That was great.
He's some guy.
Absolutely.
He's my bike and back man. He is. And what do you do to earn your crust?
Well, I'm a physician. I'm a doc.
And what do you heal?
I have been a general practitioner for a number of years, and then 15 years ago went into the specialty of being a cannabis specialist.
So if I've got MS, multiple sclerosis, or whatever, I can take some medicinal cannabis and that will help me.
Yes, it will.
I believe this to be the case.
Yeah. It's true.
I'm in an extraordinary situation because in all of my life, and I'm not excluding you here. I want to talk to you in a moment about my back.
Absolutely.
But in all of my life, I've never smoked a cigarette, ever.
Wow.
Ever.
That's rare in Ireland.
Well, never did. I have enjoyed moderate amounts, from moderate to large amounts of red wine with my dinner. Always with my dinner. I don't go out and drink. And I made a mistake last night because I had a kind of an upsetting day yesterday, and I sat down to just chill my mind and body and soul overlooking the ocean. And I'd done my meditation and my and I discovered it. I was drawn inexorably to the wine rack. And coincidence of all coincidences, Jeff, I realized that the evening sun had been automatically bringing the bottle up to the right temperature. Now, it would have been most ungracious of me not to have opened, and I did.
That's good.
But the other thing I did was I ate meat, and I don't like doing that. And I did that last night, and I'm not going to do it again because I haven't had wine in a week and I haven't had meat in 3 weeks. And it's also, am I doing the right kind of things, do you think?
I think so.
Not too far off the mark, am I?
I think that's right. Not too much meat and a little bit of wine is just fine.
I think so, yeah. But what do I put in instead of meat? You know, I was tempted for a moment last night to go for sardines. That would have been okay.
Yeah.
Sardines on nice wheaten bread. Nothing else. Bread's not good, is it?
Well,
I can do without bread, yes?
not too much.
No.
I think bread's all right, but...
Well, I shared my bread with the birds on my window,
Very
and they
good.
enjoyed it. But what I have to do, and this shows the kind of my natural magnanimity, the greatness of my heart.
Yeah. We know.
I actually
about that,
dampen the bread for the birds.
What a
It
guy.
makes it easier for us. What a guy. You hear what a guy. What a guy. And I had the cheek a moment or two ago to advise you about your prostate, and you're a GP. But you know some GPs here, Jeff, they will not give the PSA blood test. They insult intelligence by saying, it's an inconclusive test. I know it's an inconclusive test, but it's a broken signpost, but at least it's maybe pointing in the right direction.
It is important.
Yeah, you heard it here from Jeff.
I think the medical industry, the hospitals and the third-party payers in the United States don't like paying for it. So, and there are a lot of mistakes made in terms of what do you do with the information.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. I think it is an important signpost, and it's a valuable test to use.
Well, I knew what I would do with the information. I bought a wetsuit, and you told me, didn't you? But you didn't encourage it. If it had been bad information, I think my chemotherapy would have been a long swim out into the ocean. That would have been me. No dignitas for me.
No.
Now, that's in the news at the moment, boys. They're discussing with some severity, and Hawken was talking about it last night, Stephen Hawken, about man's right in a situation of grave disability and terminal illness to terminate his life. Now, they're not, Stephen Hawking said last night, yeah, it should happen, you should be allowed to do it. What do you think?
I do. I think there's obvious pitfalls where rich Aunt Betty and we'll try and shuffle her off so we can get the
Yes.
inheritance.
Yeah.
But if that sort of thing, as long as there's proper consent and the person wants it, who are we to stand in their way? I
Is
mean, we're not living their pain and their suffering. It wouldn't be me who's telling them.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff, is it de rigueur in California? Are people allowed to, in a medical situation of great awfulness, would they be allowed to take their own lives?
Not with the assistance of the physician.
You must press the button yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I think people do. I mean, you can always stop eating. That's pretty effective.
How long does it take? Yeah, about 3 weeks?
Well, it depends on how debilitated you
Yeah.
are. It could be as little as a week, and it may take 3 weeks.
You see, isn't it interesting that the Buddhists do this? Some branches of Buddhism, the monk, they create the living, they call it a living mummy. They start eating less, and they get down, maybe over the period of a year, to a diet of berries. And then the monk goes into the cave, and he continues to eat some berries, rests in the cave, meditates in the cave. The cave is sealed. He will ring a bell every day at a prescribed hour, and they all know he's still there. But the day comes that he doesn't ring the bell, they know he's gone. I like that. I like that more than getting a ticket from the travel agent to Dignitas. Because going to I like the principle of Dignitas, but I can't see myself walking in through the door, smelling the forest glade coming through the open window, listening to the birds, and then sitting down and bing. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
Don't think so. It's not easy. It's amazing. You've brought very interesting things to my studio this morning, Sarah. It is great. So what kind of patients do you work with in America?
You know, there's been a change in the demographic from people with chronic pain to children, babies with cancers, seizure disorders, autism, some very difficult problems to treat, as well as an older crowd with chronic anxiety and chronic pain and insomnia and so many illnesses. But the biggest change, I would say, in the last year or two has been with cancer patients.
And what has that change been?
Well, the change has been that there's a recognition publicly now that the cannabinoids, cannabis and all of the active ingredients of it, kill cancer cells.
Kill
the cancer cells. So it not only helps with all the symptoms, you know, the loss of appetite and the pain and so forth, but it also, in many cases, can actually turn a cancer around and stop the growth of a cancer, or even show a regression and kill the cancer.
Yeah, I have to say, in the case of my prostate cancer, my cannabis has been pumpkin seed oil. And it seems to work. It's got the PSA levels down, and now over the last year and a half, they've been constant. Just constant.
That's
there,
great
not
sign.
Going anywhere. Low and constant.
Very good.
The whole thing isn't pumping out any stuff into the blood. No antigens going into the blood supply.
Very
so it's a
good.
good sign, Steve. You know. I always go.
Yeah.
Steve looks after. He is my cannabis when it comes to my bad back. He relieves the pain. He just.
Well-
How did we? I went back. How long was it? 2 years ago I went to you first.
Yes, yeah.
And 2 years ago I was really not in a good way.
Yeah.
I was quite bad with my lower back. Abuse all my life. Lifting things I shouldn't have been lifting. Boat trailers over my shoulder and walking with it. Anchors of big boats, of tall ships, hauling it up the beach to stop it toppling over, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I went to Steve, he got me going, and then this week I wakened up and I said, Rowan, what are you playing at? You've no call to endure this. Go to Steve. And I went to you, my Eccles physiotherapeutic fellow. And I came through, and when you saw me arriving with you, talk us through the thought process when I went into your physiotherapy clinic on the Point Road. What did you see coming at you? Did you immediately dismiss me in your mind's eye as a sort of grumpy old git who is never going to get any
Yeah,
better.
pretty much,
You see
yeah,
what he does?
yeah,
See this
pretty
thing? I
much.
tell you.
Yeah.
So talk me through the process.
No, I mean,
How I presented, was I sort of
yes, you were
slow?
slow and a little stiff in your movements, you know. And then we got you to bend forward and back and side to side, and we measured that.
You didn't tell me now how impressive or unimpressive the measurement was. How was the movement?
The movement was uneven. So you bent more to one side.
Clue coming all the
Clue
time.
coming, yes. And then I think both backward and forward bending, there was pain at the end. So we knew there was something wrong. And then we did some tests to make sure that this wasn't disky or anything more unpleasant. And then had a poke around in your back, feeling each level, testing it, and finding out where the pain was centered. And we found that it was higher up than it had been before.
Wow.
And just a joint that's got stiff. And I would
Yeah.
say, you know, without an MRI, there's probably a good chance there's a little bit of arthritis in there,
Yes.
and that particular joint had just not been getting much movement, and had stiffened up. And then you'd done something, maybe turned in
Yeah.
bed or
Yeah.
reached into your back seat
Oh,
of your car,
yes,
something
yes.
like that, and just set it off. So we needed to get it moving.
It was
again.
actually what I felt when you were working on me.
Yeah.
I felt it was quite forensic, because you were,
Yes.
first of all, you were excluding possibilities as you were working down,
Yeah.
and then you got that little and that
Yes.
little touch.
Yeah.
You said you were on the mark.
Yeah.
And that's what you started working
So,
on.
yes, I think as Jeff would agree, if you don't know what you're dealing with, and if you don't know precisely what's going on, then it's much harder to treat something. Do you know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
So yes, being forensic, as you say, is a really important thing. Once you know what's going on, then you can use your own style to get the joints moving, whether that's through exercise or mobilization or
Yeah.
even manipulation.
You're both somewhat stick insecty in terms of you're carrying no weight. You're
Right.
slim guys, right?
Okay, yes.
I sense.
Svelte. I like the word svelte.
I'm
don't
sorry I
you?
didn't
like
use
that.
svelte.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't
Lean.
use svelte. Stick insecty didn't quite do it. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I think, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. But you're,
They're
it seems
called
to be.
walking sticks in America. You know,
right.
you know
Walking
those
sticks,
things?
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
here's my logic, and you're both medical people. You tell me if my logic is
Right.
right. I'm growing older. I'm 70 now. I have a confident expectation inside my mind that I'm going to live to 120 at least.
Okay,
This
great,
is the
great, yeah,
intention.
right.
And
So
I'm,
you're middle-aged now.
I'm middle-aged now,
Yeah, yes.
and I'm actually sculpting everything within my lifestyle and my body to achieve that aim.
Okay,
you know?
good.
And one of the things I feel, if the organs of my body are aging, then I've got to assist them by training them, exercising them up to a point, but sparing them the additionality of the problem of the hole between my nose and my chin, bucketing in the mess.
Right.
That I'm 11 stone, no, I'm telling a lie. How easily I go from 12 to 11 stone. But I'm down, I was at 13 stone, but I'm down to 12 stone, constantly 12 stone.
Yeah.
But my desire is to be down at 11, where I was when I was 25, 30.
Yes.
Now, my rationale is that, as such, I'll be able to walk better, I'll be putting less demand on my body,
Yes,
that everything is giving me the best possible chance.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think you're right. I
agree.
think you're right. Yeah.
Is that it? That's the way to do
Yes.
it.
And throw in a little cannabinoids as well.
Cannabinoids. I get arrested for that.
Yes,
but
you
what
would.
they're all doing. No, but I could certainly go and ask for it because I can put them in blueberry pies and all.
Yes,
Oh.
you could. Well, we have our natural ones, and that's something that most folks aren't even aware
What
of.
is a natural cannabinoid?
The natural cannabinoids have the name of the endocannabinoids.
Endocannabinoids.
And the body makes them, and they're primarily made in nerves
Yeah.
and in the immune system. And they basically keep us healthy. They're molecules that are responsible for homeostasis,
Homeostasis?
Getting back home.
Yeah,
Getting relaxed.
stability.
Stability.
Yeah.
So it helps with eating
Yeah.
and sleeping.
So
and
where do I access
rest.
these natural endocannabinoids?
They're happening all the time, but
How
natural
do I
ways to
encourage them?
access them are like physiotherapy. Exercise brings out the endocannabinoids. And injury brings out the endocannabinoids. They come as a response to help heal you up or protect the cells that have been damaged. So they're there all the time doing their work. But certain things will increase them. And that's kind of the logic, too, in using cannabis as medicine, is it heightens that response and helps you to heal up any number of kinds of conditions.
Well, you see, I realistically, and I'm using me as an example because there are lots and lots of people out there will identify with what we're talking about and will get something from it, and that's good. By the way, we're big in California. We've got all the time there. We're very big in Clare in the west of Ireland, California. We're big in Manitoba. We're big in Mayo Bridge out the road. So we've about 10,000 to program.
Hey, great.
So we're all,
I'm glad you're
going
big.
well.
That's
It's good.
cool.
It's huge to be big. It's great. But even I mustn't laugh too much because sometimes when I laugh, I get a wee, my cannabinoids are in there doing, my endocannabinoids are having a go there when I laugh. But
probably
it's
true.
important. So try and identify with this because I'm trying to help you as well as me here. And I now know it would be foolish for, I feel intuitively that what I did as a boy and was able to run a 2.5 minute half mile a long time ago, maybe a wee bit more. It's a bit, maybe a wee bit more. But I now know I shan't run again. I do now know that I will walk again and that I will walk and walk and walk. Although I've got a problem with the dislodged bone in the foot. I need to be careful. But I've got the right orthotic in there to deal with it. And my intention is that where I used to run, I will now walk. And we have now the most wonderful walkway along our canal. It's about a mile one way, a mile the other way. So 2 miles a day walking along the canal path.
It's new.
It's new. It's the new lovely.
From where?
It goes all the way from, well, you know where the basin down there, where the boats come in?
Yes.
That was there already.
Yes.
But come into town from there going along. It's from there all the way through to Sands's Mill. The most beautiful broad walk as opposed to a boardwalk.
I get you.
And that's, it's
Yeah,
there
it
for all of us.
It looks lovely,
It looks
doesn't it?
absolutely gorgeous. The other morning, and this wouldn't happen in California, you would probably give them the electric chair. No, you don't have that in your state. No.
Nothing. Well,
No.
They do have the death sentence.
Do they?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Although it's been on hold.
yeah, because of the drugs that were being used and different things
No,
like that.
I think there was some challenge to its constitutionality,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's taken 10 years for that to go through the courts.
Yes.
Very little going on now.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Mind you, there are lots of people, not lots of people, but I can conceive of situations in which I would willingly want to terminate the existence of certain human beings on the
Yes.
planet Earth. You know, historically, someone as bad as Hitler or someone like that.
Politicians spring to
Shimon
mind.
Peres.
Don't they?
Did I say that? No, I didn't say Peres. No, I didn't say that at all. I'm sorry, Israel. I beg your pardon this morning. But
All right.
the thing is, in going ahead and doing one's best to be healthy, it's a life. It's a voyage. It's a voyage of health. You don't dip in and out of it. You need to dedicate yourself to it. And in the walking thing, we're blessed. The other morning, the reason I digressed there, I'm sorry. Don't digress, Rowan. Don't do it. Stop it. It's not a good idea. But the other day I saw the first litter being thrown down on the beautiful new shimmering walkway. And I was sitting having a coffee and I couldn't stop myself. I got up, I went out, I collected it and I put it in the bag. You know, I just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And it was. I think if everybody did that, a little bit.
I used to live in Texas, and they
Why
had-
in Texas do you always fly your flag at the top of the mast, the
I
Lone
don't know.
Star,
I
and your
personally
stars and
don't,
stripes
yeah,
away down low?
personally, well, because it's the
There is a
Republic
bit
of
of a
Texas.
There is a
isn't
bit
it?
of a Texan about you. I know this thing.
Absolutely.
I know right well.
But
Yeah,
they
I
had
love the way you said absolutely.
They had a campaign, anti-littering campaign, and it was called "Don't Mess with Texas."
Yeah.
And it sort of suggested that if you love your country, because they're very
Yes.
patriotic, and especially Texans towards Texas, if you love your country, you're not going to ruin it by
Yep.
throwing litter. And I really like that. And I think
Yeah.
people should realise that, you know, Ireland's a beautiful country, and
It
just
is.
throwing crap everywhere, it's horrible.
Have you noticed, and have a look as you're going about your business today, on every light pole and telephone pole, the metal ones,
Yes.
people of protest, people who want to fly flags, they will come along at certain times of the year and they'll put the flags up and they'll tie them to the poles with cable ties. They take the flags down, but they don't take down the cable ties. Now, where you have literally hundreds of cable ties on the poles of your city, that begins to constitute an obscenity. It's not nice. It's not easy on the eye, and it is a serious bit of vandalism, really.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, they're great because you cut them, you put them in the garbage,
Easy
bin,
done.
and
Easy
it's
done.
easily
The other
done.
thing one must always do. Why am I telling you? The canal, that's the thing.
Canal.
Donnelly and I used to find there are these 6-packs of beer that people carry home, and there's a
Right.
plastic ring system at the top.
Right.
You have no idea of the number of mallard duck that I rescued. And they put their head in through one of the loops, head out through the other loop, head round the side and through the loop again. And they're like, "Ugh." That's the way the creatures are.
Yeah.
Right.
And people throw those things away. So every time you see the plastic ring top of a 6-pack, pull it apart.
Yeah.
Will we pledge to that this morning?
Yeah, we will.
We will.
We will.
We pledge this morning that we will destroy all plastic ring tops that we see in the interest of our bird life
Our
population.
feathered friends.
Our feathered friends, indeed. So you're all the way from California.
Yep.
You've had the unique and magnificent privilege of, from a medical perspective, having a look at me, just from a distance. You know, first impressions, my aspiration to live for a while longer.
Good deal. I like your thinking far ahead. I think that's great.
That's the secret. Far ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You need to behave that way in order to make it.
Yeah.
If you're always
No, don't
messing
do
with
that.
it, yeah,
No.
it's not so good.
I always tell people, don't sweat the small stuff
Yeah, it's true.
and die
I
for the
mean,
big stuff.
The diet's very important, but even a little bit of bread or a little bit of whatever,
Yeah.
not so worrisome.
No.
But overall, just keep the fats down and the cholesterol down and the carbs down and keep your weight right and get some exercise,
Yeah.
get everything moving. You're on the right track.
I am. Now, you mentioned cholesterol. My cholesterol, for a long time. You quit. Stop it. I'm having a consultation here. No, my cholesterol for a long time was 5.
Five.
No, you probably use a different.
Different,
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, they said 5 was on the limit. Just
Okay.
now. There's a thing we have here called Benecol. It's a little yogurty drink that you take,
Yeah.
and it's guaranteed to reduce your cholesterol. And I took it. And my cholesterol came down to just under 5. And then one day I had a witch in here sitting on the sofa interviewing her. She was a witch of nutrition. She was one of these people who live in caves and shout sort of with warts and nose and all the rest of it. She says, "You do not need any Benecol." I was so frightened of her, I stopped taking Benecol. And within 3 months, my cholesterol went to 7. 2 points up. So my doctor, he said, "Well, we'll do statins." I said, "No, we won't do statins." He said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "Come back on Benecol. I'm paring my eating regime even more than I've done. I'm focusing on it, getting it right, and I'm going to walk. And if it doesn't work, in 3 months' time, 4 months' time, then we'll look at statins. We'll have the conversation." Again, it's that attitudinal thing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
popping the pills and whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, my brother, he had a checkup, and the doctor said his cholesterol's a bit high, and he would see him in 2 or 3 months. And my brother Chris, went home, and he sort of stopped eating bacon, and he,
Oh, yeah.
do you know what I mean? And stopped eating fatty stuff, and ate cheese very, very sparingly.
Oh, God.
3 months later, and was exercising anyway. He went back to the doctor after having his blood test done, and the doctor said, "Oh, I can't seem to see. I don't seem to have documented what medicine I put you on." And he said, "You didn't put me on anything," because his
It's
cholesterol
lifestyle.
had gone
It is.
down.
It's lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Californian element.
Well, I hate to see people using the statins as a preventative for bad behavior. You know,
Statins are preventative in the region of bad behavior. You're putting statins in where you should be eating healthily
that's
to begin
right.
with.
That's right.
I like your
So
style.
taking statins doesn't mean you can eat more cheese, does
No,
it?
no. No, I don't think so. I think cheese is not a good idea anyway, because if you consider, the kind of the whole metabolism factor, you're getting this scungy stuff into you. It's not good. It's not good. What do you eat?
I'm mostly vegan. On the road, I'll eat a little of some eggs and some fish.
Yeah.
But when I'm at home, I usually eat for protein, beans and nuts and
So
seeds
what
and
kind
grains.
of beans would you eat?
Oh,
Would you eat not the Heinz baked beans in the tin that's sweet and tomato sauce?
we buy them by the sack of organic beans, pinto beans, black beans, soybeans,
and you boil them.
and we boil them or pressure cook them.
Pressure cook them.
Much more efficient to
So
pressure
any
cook.
kind of bean, any kind of legume, is it a legume?
Yes.
Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Legumes. And you would then flavor them with turmeric or with some...
Exactly.
Put that in. Beans.
Beans.
So you see this, you're helping me greatly here this morning. Thank you, oh great Jehovah. You've brought to me my Epicurean savior.
Your guru. Yeah.
My guru.
He's a
Because
great
I've been
cook,
wondering,
yeah.
what am I going to eat? Do you know what I ate last night? I'm disgusted with myself. But I am now going to tell you what I ate last night.
Please.
In
I
order,
can't wait.
In order to make myself realize I must never do it again. I ate the roast belly of pig last night. My God, it was dreadful. It was lovely to eat. It was
Yes.
a lovely succulence and a nice combination of flavors and of texture, all in there.
Yeah.
But that's what I had. I will not eat it again. But I'm now talking beans.
Yes.
Yeah, that I need to, not the sort of processed beans.
Not really.
No.
No, I don't do
Beans
that.
that I can actually cook. And
Yeah.
you've answered my question because I didn't know what I was going to eat in the future. Now I know. Will you come back for my 120th birthday, sir?
I would love to.
We'll go out on the town and get ourselves a couple of boids. That would be nice.
That would be good.
And my back would be up to that, would it, Steve?
Absolutely.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming very, very shortly, we were talking canal there, we were talking about the beauty of the walkway. Coming very shortly on the programme, a man of Newry, James McAreevy, who is an aficionado of these things and who founded the Newry Maritime Association, giving Newry back its maritime heritage.
Lovely.
Good.
Very good.
I'll see you next week.
You will indeed.
You'll be back in
yes.
America, will you?
I will be.
Okay, go well. God bless you. Take
You
care.
too. You too.
God love you.
Thank
Go
you.
well. Good to see you.
Good to see
Bye-bye.
you.
Music maestro.